Hey everybody, it's Gomodex, and welcome back to another premiere draft of War of the Spark. Our rare today is Not So Hot. Definitely good in constructed formats. There's a lot of fun things you can do with this, playing decks with a lot of powerful, cheap instants and sorceries, or ways to add to its power. However, in Limited, there's just not a lot you can do with that. I think the best combo really in this format is like Spark Harvest, because that is a 1-mana sorcery that is actually quite good and great in the red-black decks. You would obviously be playing red and black if you're playing red for Arcanist and black for the Spark Harvest, but generally not a ton you can do with this. Definitely a later pick in draft. So our uncommons are pretty good though. Sunblade Angel is kind of a lot of mana, but for that you get a lot of good keywords. Keyword soup over here. And then you have Bleeding Edge, which is pretty great at 3 mana for a 2/2 and potentially kill one of their 2/2s. Something with 2 or less toughness, of course, giving -2/-2. I think I'm going to take Bleeding Edge here. Dovin is not very exciting. It just shuts off damage. So kind of a slower, more controlling card, not really my cup of tea. I definitely like Bleeding Edge as the best card out of that pack. There was also Heartfire at common, which would be fine, but I think Bleeding Edge definitely better than that card. Here we have Angrath's Rampage. This can be solid. The fact that it can choose 2 different important things, you can have somebody sacrifice a creature or have somebody sacrifice a planeswalker, means in a lot of games you will actually get something good out of this. Either they play a good planeswalker to make them sacrifice it, or in the position where they only have one creature and it's a good creature, you make them sack that creature. So I think that seems fine. It is 2 color though, but at the same time, nothing good for black. There's a great green removal spell, Band Together. This is instant speed, have 2 of your creatures deal damage equal to their power to another creature. Can definitely be good. Is always good in a green deck. I guess I should probably go with Band Together. This is actually probably a little better than Angrath's Rampage generally, even though it is common, just because you get to do it at instant speed, you get to choose what you're killing, and you choose what 2 creatures are dealing damage, and 2 of your creatures are dealing damage, so often that can kill pretty much anything of your choice. So Band Together, pretty great removal spell there. Here for green, we don't have a lot. I think the best green card might even be Courage in Crisis. Proliferate can be pretty good in this format. There's a lot that cares about +1/+1 counters, and obviously loyalty counters on the planeswalkers that are in every pack. So yeah, Courage in Crisis might be the best there, maybe Arlen's Wolf, but Primary the Worms are pretty replaceable, just big drops, so nothing crazy in green, but 2 of the better black commons here. Toll of the Invasion, look through your opponent's hand, make them discard their best card, and amass 1 is very solid, as is Lazotep Reaver, just great for its mana cost, 2 mana for a 1/2 that also gives you a 1/1. Both of these are fantastic, really depends on what we're wanting to do. If we want to be more controlling or more proactive, I think I'll take Toll of the Invasion here. I just really like this card, although I do really love Lazotep Reaver as well. I really love Toll of the Invasion and then making them discard an Ugin or something. It's just the greatest feeling in the world. Now we have Ob Nixilis's Cruelty. No reason to stop the black train here when we get a fantastic black removal spell, -5/-5, exile the creature. Just a great spell there. Other notable cards in this pack, Bond of Insight can be okay in a slower blue deck with a lot of instants and sorceries. Obviously, this is a draw your 2 best instants and sorceries out of your grave, plus it mills you 4, so it even puts more in the grave to choose from. Then there's like On-Crop Invaders, good in red-black Sacrifice, or red-black Amass, 2 kind of separate names for that sort of strategy. And we have a good start to that, both of our black cards amassing, so On-Crop Invader would be fine. And Grim Initiate also fuels that same kind of deck pretty well. The green cards aren't super exciting. Maybe just a Courage in Crisis again there. And here we have Spellgorger Weird, I think is the most exciting card in this pack. This is great in any deck with a lot of non-creature spells, which can be a lot of decks in this format. With Amass as one of the main mechanics, you get to run a lot of cards like Bleeding Edge that, while they're not technically a creature, this does give you a 2/2 creature, so it helps fuel Spellgorger Weird by giving it a +1/+1 counter, fueling the number of non-creatures you have in your deck, while also just being a creature. Same with Toll of the Invasion, this is like a 3 mana 1/1 with a good effect. So Spellgorger Weird, pretty great in decks with a lot of cards like that. Obviously at its best in blue-red, and blue-red that is kind of the focus, is playing a lot of non-creature spells, but I think this card is generally just a nice big threat for its mana cost. I like it better than Shriek Diver. While Shriek Diver is evasive, Shriek Diver is just a lot smaller, even 1 toughness, so it's very easy to have your Shriek Divers die all the time. And now we have Mayhem Devil, which is Obviously, it sees constructed play, so it is a very powerful card, and it is perfect in a black-red deck. Black-red sacrifice being one of the big themes that you can do in this format. Lots of good sacrifice outlets at common. We did see that red one that would let us sacrifice stuff to get +2/+0. Talked a little bit about that earlier. That combo is great with this, and it's a common, so we should be able to pick up 1 or 2 of those, as well as Spark Reaper in black, sacrificing something, gaining life, drawing a card. So Mayhem Devil's pretty perfect for what we're trying to do here, although Burning Prophet is a very powerful card generally, being able to scry whenever you cast removal spells, so you get out of land pockets, draw what you need to, as well as Honor the God Pharaoh being a pretty nice draw spell. So a lot of great stuff in that pack, but I am going to take the Mayhem Devil and push in on Rakdos here. Now we have Heartfire, a great removal spell for this kind of deck. Sacrificing your 1/1 zombie army, dealing 4 to any target can be absolutely great. It's also great with uncommon planeswalkers. Every uncommon planeswalker in this set only has minus abilities, so it will eventually get to the point where it can't do anything anymore, and then you could just Heartfire it away and still get value off of it. I do like Herald of the Dreadhorde here, but Bolas's Citadel is a potentially fun card. It's very risk reward. Obviously, you have to pay life to cast spells off of the top of your library, but if you're in a leading position when you cast this will just end the game, because you're just going to start casting way more than your opponent can put up with. Plus, the sacrifice ability, sacrificing 10 of your opponents to make your opponent lose 10 life, that will often just end the game there. Worst case scenario, it's gems as well. The safest pick is just Herald of the Dreadhorde. Herald of the Dreadhorde will definitely be good in this deck, and it'll be a fine draw in most games. Being a 3/2 that amasses 2 when it dies, but I'm going to go for the kind of funner, more explosive play here with the Bolas's Citadel, see if we can get that to pan out. Obviously, if we see anything that gains life, we're going to want to pick that stuff up. Some great white cards in here, but really nothing much else. I guess Crawl Stinger's fine in green. I think I'll just take a solid white card, I don't know. Maybe we somehow end up in white. Not likely, though. Blind Blast, Vampire Opportunist. Neither of these are super exciting. I think I'll take Opportunist here. 1 toughness is a pretty hard sell, but at least this has a fine ability. If you draw it in the late game, this can close out a game because it gives you a way to deal damage to your opponent without having to attack them with anything. So if there's a large board stall going on, it gives you a mana sink that can close out the game. Not really excited by any of these cards. Primordial Worm might be the coolest, but haven't seen a ton of good green, so I'll just take a Charity Extractor. Keep taking some Rakdos cards. We're pretty committed to Rakdos, I think. We could play a Goblin Assault team. Not the most exciting thing, but we can definitely play it. Well, Tybalt's going to be quite good in these kind of decks. Gives you 2 1/1 Devils that deal 1 damage to any target when they die. Obviously, great things to sacrifice. It's also a Planeswalker that will end up with 1 loyalty and nothing to do on the board, so if it's ever sitting out there, gives you a great target to sacrifice to your Heartfire, so Tybalt's just going to be great in this strategy. There's also Spellgorger Weir, which I spoke my piece on. I do think it's a very solid card, good threat. And then Herald of the Dreadhorde would be fine in this deck, as would Vraska's Finisher. But we will take Tybalt.
The only thing to fear is, well, everything.
That was kind of adorable, Tybalt. Now we get one of the best common sacrifice outlets, Spark Reaper. 3 mana for a 2/3, and then you spend 3 mana to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker to gain 1 life and draw a card. Just a really solid effect when you're sacrificing, 1/1s or 1 loyalty planeswalkers. So great card to pick up here. That is going to be our first sacrifice outlet for this deck. Definitely something we're looking for when we have cards like Mayhem Devil and Tybalt. So it's our first consistent sacrifice outlet. Heartfire, we just sacrifice 1 thing to that. So Spark Reaper seems very solid here. Other than that, in this pack, we have Grim Initiate we'd like to wheel. That's pretty much it. Blind Blast, Samet Sprint, they're both kind of mediocre red spells. They're playable, but don't do a lot. And then there's Demolish, which is just utterly unplayable. Ooh, wow, this pack is very good. Living Twister, we could try to splash that in. We only need 1 green mana to do that, and it is a very powerful card. It is a 2/5. You can spend 2 and discard a land to do 2 to any target, so pretty fantastic in the late game. I think we already have just a big explosive late game card potentially with Bolas's Citadel. Maybe being able to deal 10 to them by sacking 10 things and maybe being able to draw us a lot of cards. I do really like Dreadhorde Twins. This is just a great card generally, and we don't need to splash it in. 4 mana for a 2/2 that amasses 2, making our zombie army get +2/+2, or creating the zombie army, and then it gives the zombie army trample, so if it's big enough, all of a sudden its trample is just a massive threat. There's also Chandra's Pyrohelix, which would be pretty fine removal for us, but I'm going to go with the Dreadhorde Twins there. I'm pretty happy to get that. Honor the God Pharaoh or Chandra's Pyrohelix are my favorite cards out of here. Price of Betrayal can be good. It can kill zombie armies, and it can kill planeswalkers, but it's a little too much of a scalpel for my tastes. It's too focused. There are some matchups where it just does nothing, and anytime you have a card in your hand that does absolutely nothing is a horrible time. So Honor the God Pharaoh or Chandra's Pyrohelix. Don't really have any draw spells. We have Heartfire, Obnoxus's Cruelty, and Bleeding Edge. So we've got multiple decent removal spells. I guess I'll take Honor the God Pharaoh, get a little bit of draw power in this deck. But we are definitely not opposed to running some Pyrohelixes if we can get them at some point later. I think I'll take a Tidebearer Giant here. I like it better than Chain Whip Cyclops if I'm taking just a random big dork. I like the 1 higher toughness, and being able to draw a card when you play it is very solid. Not a big fan of Kaya's Ghost form, because you have to be in a pretty specific situation for this. You have to have like the 2-card combo to go crazy with this thing. It doesn't really do anything by itself. And Banehound is just a very small creature, so I'm going to take Tidebearer Giant. And Grim Initiate, we are happy to play an Rakdos Sacrifice deck. There's also Shriek Diver. We could get a little bit of flying going on in here. We don't have any flying yet, so that's not the worst pick ever. But 1 toughness is a pretty hard sell, and these tend to go late in the packs, so we could probably get Shriek Divers later. So will Grim Initiates, though. The only deck that really wants to play Grim Initiate is Rakdos. It's mainly just 2 creatures at the price of 1 for Sacrifice Outlets, is what's good about it. Yeah, it's one of these 2. I'll go with a Grim Initiate first. Another Grim Initiate here. Alright, well now we definitely want to pick up Shriek Divers, but I'm going to take a second Grim Initiate. And there's a Shriek Diver. I like that better than Lazotep Behemoth for this deck, I think. Get a smaller evasive threat rather than just 1 big dork. Sprint, Blind Blast, and Shadow Fugue, a bunch of mediocre cards here. I don't think I'll end up playing any of these, so I'm just going to take some gems, just take a rare draft there. Another Grim Initiate? Alright, well, probably should have taken another Shriek Diver earlier. We did get a Pyrohelix here, though. I'm happy to get that. Silverwing's fine as well. Pretty similar to Shriek Diver in power level. Just a random little flying dork. It's good to have 1 or 2 of those. I'll take a Blind Blast at this point. This is really not a Charity Extractor deck. I'm pretty unlikely to play the first one that I have. I think I'd be more likely to play a Blind Blast than a Charity Extractor, to be honest. But even then, it's not super likely. Guess I'll throw a Banehound back in here so I have a 23 card deck. Now I just need to cut something every time I take a card. This is unfortunately not an Ashiok deck. Ashiok is a pretty powerful card, but it's going to be powerful in controlling slower decks. Really not for us. It does still annoy people and sometimes draw removal out anyway, no matter what you're playing. So it's not the worst pick. It might be worth consideration. How many Planeswalkers do we have? We only have 1 Planeswalker, just Tibalt, so I don't think we're an Aid the Fallen deck, although this is good with like 3+ Planeswalkers. There's also Honor the God Pharaoh. Get some more draw spells, some more Amass in here. Yeah, I'm just going to stick to our theme. Take cards that definitely work well for us, and take the Honor the God Pharaoh there. Now we have Vraska. Yeah, Vraska's going to work pretty well for us. I'm going to take Vraska here. Spark Reaper is pretty solid, but Vraska is also going to give us 2 creatures, so we have those 2 sacrifice towards our sacrifice outlets. It also gives us 2 Death Touchers, which is just great in general. Trades up into the big creature decks. Yeah, Vraska's just a really solid card generally. She also works well with Heartfire because after you use her ability twice, she's going to sit there with 1 loyalty doing nothing. Vraska seems pretty sweet here. Definitely better than Pyrohelix, and it fills a similar role. The only consideration here is I think Vraska or Spark
I'm good at
Reaper.
what I do, and what I do is win.
So I do actually like Deliver Unto Evil. I don't remember which draft I did, but I did play a draft where I was using this card, and it did some solid work. That being said, I think I prefer Dreadhorde Twins here. If this wheels, we'll definitely take it, but we do seem like a pretty aggressive deck. We just want to be playing creatures on curve. Deliver Unto Evil is more of like a turn 5, turn 6 card. Just picks up 2 of your cards back from your grave. The later in the game you play it, the better it is. So it doesn't seem like the kind of card for us, although it's still a powerful enough card that I would take it if it wheeled. Just not going to take it this early. Ooh, very happy to see Vizier of the Scorpion. This is a great combo with Vraska, because now our zombie armies, when we have this out, will all of a sudden have Death Touch. And if we've amassed enough, that zombie army is going to be a 4/4 that they don't want to block anyway, and then every time it deals combat damage to a player, it gets a +1/+1 counter and just keeps getting bigger. So Vizier plus Vraska could be a really silly combo. And the great thing about it, the reason that we will definitely take this here, is we don't need those two together for these cards to be good. They're both going to be great on their own. I think I'll take another Sacrifice Outlet, take the Dread Malkin. The other options in our colors are not very exciting. We have a 2/2, a Blind Blast, or Unlikely Aid. Some random spells or a 2/2. Dread Malkin definitely better. Again, giving us uses for our Tybalt and Vraska once they've run out of loyalty, and giving us great use to our 1/1s like Grim Initiate. Definitely cutting Banehound here. We do need to cut a lot more cards. On Crop Invader, another great Sacrifice Outlet. This one great on the aggressive. Obviously, this card is very hard to block because it has First Strike, and the opponent knows you just have to sacrifice some random dorks, and it can be like 6 First Striking power. So real difficult to block. Definitely good in an aggressive deck. I think it's what we're looking for here rather than another top-end card like Tie the Bear Giant. So I'll take that. Gonna cut a Blind Blast now. May end up cutting a Shriek Diver. We're not going to play anything out of this pack, so I'll take the highest rarity card. We're going to start looking at what we want to cut here. So our 2-drop creatures aren't very good, but we only have 2 of them, Opportunist and Assailant, so we're going to end up running both of them, I think. Probably cut an Initiate or 2. I don't think we want that much at 1 mana. What do we have at 3 here? I kind of like all of our 3-drops. Definitely don't want to play Charity Extractor. I guess Shriek Diver's the closest to me not wanting to play. Don't really want to play Goblin Assault Team. Definitely not playing Interplanar Beacon. Alright, we're back to a 23 card deck. We just have to cut something every time we draft something, which will be difficult because I want all 3 of these cards, and I'm not going to cut any of them. Finisher, these are all great in our deck. I'll take another On-Crop Invader, just get another Sacrifice Outlet. Definitely take a Parhelion here just for the gems, because there's nothing in our color anyway. Colors, I should say. We could run a 24 non-land, 16 land deck here. Probably shouldn't, but we could. So I'll leave it as it is for now, until we get to deck building. Could play another Pyrohelix. I already have 1 Shriek Diver that I'm considering cutting, so I don't think I'm taking a second. We really got some good 4 or 5 mana cards. Sarkhan's Catharsis could close out the game, just deal 5 to our opponent in the late game. Although we only have 2 2-mana creatures. I actually do want more 2-mana creatures. I think I would play 2 Assailant and an Opportunist, honestly, just to keep our curve low. Alright. Need to cut 3 cards. We have a lot of creatures. That did not work. Some of our non-creatures are still up top. There we go. So, Honor the God Pharaoh and Bleeding Edge are sort of creatures as well. I guess I could just sort all of the non-creatures into their own pile over here. The ones that don't create a zombie army either. Oh, Tybalt creates creatures. Vraska creates creatures. So these are kind of our non-creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 5 cards that don't make creatures. I think we can just cut 3 creatures out of this deck then. Although they're also good. Except our 2-drops. Our 2-drops are not good. They just help fill the curve well. That is the issue. I do think we still want them because just the power of starting with a 2-mana 2/2 into a 3-mana 3/3 is pretty big. Or just any of these random 3-mana dorks. Cut a little off the top end and cut a couple lands. So I could see like cutting 1 Tidebearer and 2 lands here. But our curve is pretty high. We have so much at 3 mana. We do need to consistently hit 3. That's probably not right. We probably don't want more than 1 initiate. Run at least 16 lands here. We got double black on Bleeding Edge, triple black on Bolas's Citadel, double black on Vraska. Nothing requires double red, so definitely want at least an even split. Maybe even leaning towards black if we run 17 lands. Let's see. Well, I guess we have more red symbols, but we are going to require double black, triple black a lot more often. I'm cool with the 16 land version here. Let's get rid of the card style on Bolas's Citadel. And let's go for it. Pretty classic Rakdos Sacrifice stuff going on here. Obviously, in War of the Spark, there aren't really any active treason effects, so I guess just classic in terms of War of the Spark sacrifice decks. Not really classic in terms of any draft format's Rakdos Sacrifice deck. Classic Rakdos Sacrifice is all about active treason to steal your opponent's creature and then just sacrifice it immediately. Well, sacrifice it after you hit him with it at least, but sacrifice it before you give it back. All right. Let's see how things go here. Round 1, we can cast everything but our Dreadhorde Twins. Not having red mana is obviously awkward, but we still have access to multiple good plays. I'm going to keep this. Don't think this one's worth a mulligan. If we draw a bunch of red spells, it will pan out poorly for us. I guess we do have more red spells than black spells. Ooh, the 1/3. Let's just stop our 2/1. Could have Obnexus's Cruelty did it, but then I would not have any more removal. So that seems a little bold to me. I think I want to just start attacking for 1 a turn with our Death Toucher, if anything. We'll have big enough creatures to attack into that as soon as we have red mana. Dreadhorde Twins will turn our zombie army into a 3/3. Spellgorger Weird will become a 3/3 very quickly. So we can hold off rather than just blowing our removal to get in for a couple points of damage here. Ooh.
I have come to help.
Huatli makes me a little more interested in just blowing my removal, because now that's a 3/3 flyer, which is pretty good. Although if it does just keep attacking me, then we can just try to race it, because we do 4 damage a turn, they do 3 a turn. We can hold up Obnexus's Cruelty and just use it at instant speed if we need to. I don't think I want to kill Huatli. I think I'd rather actually race our opponents, but I could hit Huatli for 4. They do gain life. It is going to be really hard to race a Huatli when they can gain life off of it a couple times. Yeah, I suppose I may as well go for the Huatli. Because now Huatli can only use the -3 one time, and if Huatli uses the -3, Huatli dies. So if I didn't hit Huatli, I hit them for 4, but then they can just gain 3 off of the -3, and it's like I hit them for 1. So I feel like might as well. I think I'm still not going to Obnixilus's Cruelty this creature. I think they're still likely to play a bigger one, maybe the 4-mana 2/5. Nothing. Maybe I do hit Huatli for 3 here, just try to finish that off. I'm holding on to this Swamp in case I draw my red discard a card, draw 2 spell. Because the Swamp doesn't do anything for me here anyway. Just gonna hope this kills Huatli here. Turns War's Creature into just a 1/3 again. Sorin's Thirst. Alright, well. Huatli lives to see another day. They do gain some life here as well. But if they don't have creatures to follow up War's Creature, then we could Cruelty it and then they have no creatures left. I still am not at that point, though, where I want to kill it. Because next turn I kill Huatli if they don't play any more creatures, and then I'm taking 1 a turn for the rest of this game anyway. Alright, well, I'm going to kill a bigger flyer here. Kill the 2/3 instead of the 1/3, I guess. And now we kill Huatli, we're only taking 1 damage a turn. Having some real poor draws this game, unfortunately.
I'm meant for other things.
Like, these are not only not mountains, they're also just, like, some more red cards. And then the card that we're very far off from casting either way. Maybe I'm at the point where maybe I do play this Swamp just in case I draw a land every single turn from now on, so I could play Bolas's Citadel just immediately. I don't think I would really want to, though. I am down to 11 already, so Bolas's Citadel is unlikely to do a lot for me. Obnixilis can destroy a creature and its owner draws 2. Oh, I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy with that. The only thing I don't like here is that Obnixilis is going to ping me for damage every time I draw a card. So it is very threatening to my life total. But I'm so happy my opponent let me draw 2 to try to draw out of this mana situation.
It is just a small headache.
I get to play a token with Vraska that can try to kill Obnixilis, but I can also do 2 damage with the Pyrohelix. That puts Obnixilis to 1, but not quite dead. I'm down to 8 life, so Obnixilis is likely to kill me here. We need to get rid of Obnixilis as soon as we can. I don't know what kills it faster. Maybe even Dreadhorde Twins. It's like Vraska, Pyrohelix, or Dreadhorde Twins, I'm thinking, is the fastest way to kill Obnixilis. Dreadhorde Twins would be fast because it amasses a 2/2 army. The army's going to have Trample and Death Touch, which means it will ping over for at least 1 onto Obnixilis. So we could play Dreadhorde Twins now, and then attack Obnixilis next turn and finish it off with a Pyrohelix. Of course, that does give them a better target to minus with Obnixilis, but if they minus with Obnixilis, a single Pyrohelix will kill it anyway. If we play Vraska, Vraska's going to go down to 3 loyalty, take 1 from Screecher, go down to 2 loyalty, unless they hold Screecher back to block the 1/1, in which case they block the 1/1 with Screecher, Obnixilis stays on board. I think I play Dreadhorde Twins. It also splits it up into 2 different attacking threats. So no matter what, I get to hit Obnixilis for 2 and finish it off with a Pyrohelix, even if they don't use the minus ability here. We really need to kill Obnixilis is the thing. So I think this is the best way to do it. Spread out our threats so they can't kill all of our creatures here, so something pings Obnixilis for the final 1 or 3 damage.
Your bones will read as omens.
They do kill the zombie army, puts us down to 6. War Screecher would put us down to 5.
I am your inner demon.
But Pyrohelix definitely finishes off Obnixilis, even if they proliferate here. So yeah, now we're on that Pyrohelix plan. Another black mana. So
Knowledge is not
as
without
much as I would love to
price.
honor the God Pharaoh here, I think it's too risky. Because we could honor the God Pharaoh, and then if we hit a red source, we get to cast Honor the God Pharaoh and Pyrohelix. I think we need to just get the guaranteed Pyrohelix out of the way. The sad thing about that play is that's the only play we can do this turn. If we cast a Pyrohelix, it costs 2 mana, and we only have 3 mana left, and it's all black mana, so we don't get to cast anything else if we do that. But yeah, I think that's the play. We Pyro Helix Ob Nixilis this turn, and then we Heartfire the War Screecher next turn, and then we just win by card advantage. Because we have a million cards thanks to Ob Nixilis. As long as they don't draw another burn spell, we can find a way out.
Every defeat is a lesson in tactics.
You should discard a card at end of turn 2. Bolas' Citadel's really bad here. Maybe I should have just discarded Citadel, but the only thing I need that land for is Citadel anyway. Alright, that was a great draw. Now I get to cast Honor the God Pharaoh, discard Bolas' Citadel, and sacrifice the 1/1 to kill War Screecher. I think I'm going to do it before they draw cards so they have less opportunity to draw something that would save it. Another Honor the God Pharaoh is pretty great. Discard this Swamp here. Just keep the draw chain going. Probably going to drop down a Vraska, start hitting them with 1/1s that keep getting bigger. And then we have Death Touchers out, so we're very well fortified against anything but flyers.
And I get along because we're both cutthroats.
But yeah, now these will attack, then there'll be 2/2s, then there'll be 3/3s, just keep getting bigger. Nope, not the Spark Harvest, the Vraska. But still have a lot of creatures out at least. Pretty slow clock. Let's play our biggest creatures here, I think. Spellgorger Weird over the Goblin Assailants. So if I draw any non-creature spells, the Spellgorger gets bigger and does more damage. If they have a Wrath effect, they could get us, but we still have 2 Goblin Assailants, so if they have a Wrath effect in hand, they Wrath and I still am up 2 cards. That will be doing 4 damage a turn, so I'm going to hold on to these just in case, because we're winning so much on board. If they don't have a Wrath, that we can afford to hold these back, just on the off chance they do. Well, I'm about to lose to a Bomb Mythic. 8 2/2s. 5 6. Well, that's dead on board, so I have to play these. I can make decent attacks, but I can't make great. I mean, I can make decent blocks, but I can't make great blocks. This is really rough. Good lord. Just get to play 1 card and it 8 for 1s me. There are definitely Bomb Mythics in this set. That is a part of the stuff that happens. We take 2 damage, kill everything, and still have some creatures left over. Maybe I don't block with the Vizier so that my army has Death Touch again. But then they have 2 creatures left over instead of just the 1. Probably better for them to just have the 1 creature left over than my 1/1 to have Death Touch, because they'll still have a 3/3 out. Well, if they draw removal, I'm pretty done for. Can make my 1/1 a 2/2 so they can't attack with Charity Excavator or Extractor. Yeah, they're not going to hold on to anything they draw. Just make it 5 power on my board. Another Charity Extractor. Oh lord. Well, On-Crop Invader is good with Mayhem Devil, but I don't think I have enough cards to sacrifice into that for that to really matter. They're at 16 here, and they got 2 1/5 Lifelinkers. What on earth is this? You just draw some kind of bonkers pump spell here? This is by far the best block we have on board. We just kill one of their creatures and don't lose any. Divine Arrow? Sure. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, deals 1 to any target. I'd have to sack 2 things to do 2 damage to that. If I do sack 2 things, I kill Charity Extractor though, so... I kill their 2/2 and I kill one of their Charity Extractors. They're left with a single Charity Extractor, I'm left with a single on-crop invader. The other option, do I want to be left with 2 2/2s or do I want to be left with... If I get left with 2 2/2s against this field, I think that's pretty bad for me, because then they still have everything out. So they could attack with everything and I take 1 if I don't draw into something here. I think I really want to get things to where we both have the same number of creatures here. So now we both have 1 creature, and I just sit here block every turn. Spark Reaper, I got 10 cards in library, my friend. I cannot sacrifice and gain life here. I cannot draw cards here, that's for sure. Dead to removal spell here, but pretty much dead to removal spell regardless. We need to put pressure on them to not just mill out. How many lands are even left in my deck? Oh no. I wonder if I have anything balmy at all left. I have another Dreadhorde Twins. I have a Tybalt, Vizier the Scorpion, Bleeding Edge. I have some good cards left in here. I obviously don't get to attack in here. I have no way to deal 5 to the Charity Extractor. There we go. That is a pretty great draw. I have to sacrifice 2 things to kill Charity Extractor, though, with On-Crop Invader. It's a little bit tough. Sacrifice the twins and the 2/2 to kill Charity Extractor. Because I need 5 power. I think we still wait for if I draw like a Pyrohelix or something. I do get to attack in with both here and get like a net gain of 1 damage dealt to them. They gain 1 but take 2. D-Spark, exile a creature with 4 or greater. I have 8 cards left in deck. If I'm gonna outrace my opponent, like outrace milling out here, I think that drawing a card is still worth it here. Not if it's land, but I guess we get the land out of the way. So we have 7 cards left, only 2 are lands. Cruel Celebrant. Oh no, whenever one of their things dies, we get drained for life. Well, I'm very happy I decided to draw a card here, because now I'm dying to Cruel Celebrant faster than I'm milling out, even drawing extra cards. Dread Malkin? That's pretty dang good. That's pretty dang good. They have to double block it and it gets absolutely massive. Oh no. Yeah, Cruel Celebrant is very bad for me. Every chump block they make, they drain me for 1, so they drain me for 2. I go down to 1 life on this current board. I think we just make this big enough and try to just keep attacking with that single thing, which means that I don't sacrifice anything to anything else here, which means I don't attack in this turn. I only have to sacrifice 2 things to it to make it a 5/5, which is big enough to kill a creature and not die. So I think we are going to do that. I'll do one right now in case I draw something I can actually play. Chandra's Pyro Helix. Kill Celebrant before its ability goes off. That's pretty huge. 5 cards left in deck. Definitely attack with Dreadmalkin. Can sacrifice at any point, make it a 5/5. They know if they double block, I just kill Extractor, so they probably just don't block, period. Is it worth getting in the extra damage here? I do kind of have to go fast. Gotta go fast. Spark Reaper is going to kill me if I draw too many cards with it. I die to a single removal spell if I sacrifice Spark Reaper right now. Might be extra bold. Yeah, I don't think I sacrifice Spark Reaper right now. I guess if I did, I'd hit them for 5 there, and they are dead next turn if they don't immediately draw removal. But they're dead in 3 turns this way. I can sack 2 more creatures to this, make it a 5/7/7. Well, we kill Celebrant now. They just can't block Dreadmalkin at all. At this point, we get on to 2. Draw a Bleeding Edge. Oh, that's so good. They don't gain any life on blocks here, and we get to attack all. I am still going to try to survive a removal spell here and hold back the 2/3. Play it safe. I guess it would need to be a removal spell that also adds 1 power to Extractor. Let's see. Can I just win here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? No, I can do 9. Let's just hit. Lazotep Reaver is going to let them survive the menace. We got 4 cards left. I think we got time. I think we got this. Another on-crop invader, so we get another blocker they don't know about. Send in these 2. We have 3 more turns. Definitely want to kill Charity Extractor. So we are going to sacrifice the 2/2 here. If I sacrifice both, I kill both. We just wipe the whole board. They need a haste creature. They're not going to have a haste creature. I think we kill both, just wipe the board. And then we have a 7/7 menace out. They need removal for it immediately. As well as 2 other creatures. That should just absolutely be game. Unless they Wrath us. Play around Wrath by holding Invader. Because we super win if they don't Wrath us. Actually, no, we probably still play Invader, because if they draw a single removal spell, they kill Dreadmalkin, and then we're only hitting for 2 a turn, and we might not kill them fast enough. So, because a single removal spell is so much more likely than a Wrath, we probably still should have just dropped Invader there. And just accepted defeat if they had a Wrath effect in that deck as well. Alright, well, that was a game and a half, and that was the first game of this draft. All right, I mean, this may be a big one. 43 minutes in now. It'll be a chonky draft if we can win some more games, that's for sure. Unless we just 0-3 real fast after this. But here we are, off to the 1-0 start. Pretty insane way to start the draft. Very stressful game all around. Croakies? Is Croakies streaming right now? Stream War of the Spark Draft? What the heck is going on? Well, I'm terrified. Croakies is obviously the biggest Magic Arena streamer, one of the best players as well. But we've got a pretty great hand here, so I think we've got a chance. Although I will not lie, I am pretty intimidated. Bleeding Edge is going to be pretty good against that, although it will do a damage to my Initiate, so it will still get value killing something when it dies. I don't love that. I like playing Spellgorger Weird before anything else here because we've got a lot of non-creatures to make the weird bigger, which is nice. Blast Zone from our opponent. This land can kill our Grim Initiate, so that's pretty cool. Raging Crunch coming on out. I do have a Pyro Helix, so I could just send in Pyro Helix if they block. If they don't block, we just play Spellgorger Weird. Get ready to make that pretty big. Is this mono red over here? We trade into Rager with Weird. I don't think that's a good trade because we have the Bleeding Edge. We don't trade into Crunch, so I don't think we block there. We're just going to be taking a lot. Down to 14. Turd Ogre, and that does damage when it comes into play because they have a decently sized other creature. I think we go for Bleeding Edge on Rager here. We have a 2-2 and a 3-3 now. Block Turd Ogre with our 3-3. Leave our 2-2 out. We take another 4, go to 8, but then we can Vraska and start making Death Touchers. Seems like our best course of events for these next couple turns. I guess I could block with a 2-2 and a 1-1 on the other 4-3 if they don't have anything else left, but they probably do. Actually, yeah, if they shoot Grim Initiate, then we just have 2 3-3s. Which is solid. Because now Blast Zone can't surprise kill our dude. I think we just need to survive here at this point. We've got good cards for the late game. Vraska's gonna 2-for-1. Dreadhorde Twins might 2-for-1. Tybalt's gonna 2-for-1 as well, though. That's not great for us. Dreadhorde Twins, each part of Dreadhorde Twins trades into the Devil tokens, which does suck. Do we honor the Godfur and just really hope to draw another red source here? Because at least we get a 1-1 that trades with a Rager. I don't think we want to just sit here and hold up Pyro Helix, because that's just blatantly obvious. And then they might just not minus. Let's honor the God Pharaoh. I think we discard Heartfire. Another mountain would be so beautiful. No, another Pyro Helix. Alright. We're still fine. Only one of the Ragers gets to attack this turn, so we get to block their only attacking creature here, if we want to.
My friend is here.
And we could even just not block and then Pyro Helix to kill both. But we can also Pyro Helix to kill one and kill Tybalt. We just stop 1 damage now, or we stop 1 damage by having them choose to shoot our 1-1 when it dies. So I don't think it particularly matters. Cyclops or Necromancer doesn't get anything done. We really want a red source now so we can kill all their creatures. Wow, we want just any mana now. That's pretty brutal. Really needed 5 mana. If we had 5 mana, we could stabilize really hard now. We just wipe the whole board and then have several backup cards. I guess we play Dreadhorde Twins now. Then we have a 3-3 and a 2-2. The 2-2 blocks Electromancer, the 3-3 blocks the Ragers. I hope that Croakys is actually playing mono red and not just absolutely stuck on mana here. That'd be a little sad. Send in everybody here. Possibly. Debating for sure. No attacks. Alright, that gives us the time to hit the mana for Cruelty plus Pyro Helix or double Pyro Helix. Pretty beautiful either way. I think we hold off on that. Do that instant speed. Blast Zone can kill our Dreadhorde Twins. I don't like that, but we're definitely casting a couple removal spells here, is the plan. Put 3 counters on that. Sure. So they can sack it, kill Dreadhorde Twins now. Send those in. Wonder what this is. When I just block there, they do 1 to me, and I guess they do 2 to me. Obviously, I can't Pyrohelix a Devil token this turn, because then they can finish off my 3/3. If I make this block. They're gonna do 1 to the twins. Weird, I wonder what this is. They're gonna sacrifice the other one to like a Spark Harvest? Sacrifice it to a Heartfire. Just go for it, alright. Pretty bold stuff, holding on to Blast Zone then. 1 card in hand. Holding on to Blast Zone. Definitely Pyrohelix the Electromancer. Just allow Tybalt to stay. They're like mono red here, so they're just not going to have Proliferate. I can't cast Vraska because the stupid Blast Zone is just chilling at 4 for some reason. Mayhem Devil? Gives me a blocker, seems solid. They could have haste in red, so I don't love that, but I can play Mayhem Devil and still hold up a 2-mana burn spell. I'm not going to hit Tybalt, I don't have any life gain in this deck. And I highly doubt that they have a way to... proliferate. I think they're much more likely, well not much more, but a little more likely to have a way to like bring it back from the grave or sacrifice it. Chain Whip Cyclops, well, we're going to cruelty that. I'm kind of considering killing Tybalt just so they can't Heartfire with it, actually. Because if they're mono red, they're not going to have Aid the Fallen to bring it back from the grave. The only thing they could have is like Heartfire to sacrifice it. So yeah, I think I probably do attack Tybalt this turn. Just in case. I'd rather attack it than waste a Pyrohelix at it. And I'm going to hold on to my mana here. I don't know what kind of hastes are in the format. So if there are 2 or less toughness, I can just get rid of them. Gonna play Invader here. Again, not playing Vraska, because Vraska dies to this Blast Zone the moment I play her. I do get a 1/1 Death Touch out of her, but it's definitely a lot better to get an on-crop Invader than a 1/1 Death Touch. They're dead on board now. Gotta have something. Spellgorger Weird coming out. We are gonna Pyrohelix that here. And that should be game. Should be 8 on board. Alright, what we got there against Croakies. My apologies to Croakies. Definitely a little bit of flood there at the end for them, that's for sure. Alright. 2 wins, no losses now for the Rakdos Sacrifice. See if we can't keep this momentum up, maybe get a 7-0. It's never likely, but you can always shoot for the stars, you know? Especially off such of a great start like we have now. We're up against a medium-sized frog. I do enjoy that username a lot. Alright, well, we definitely need black mana, but Honor of the Godpharaoh can help us get there, drawing us some additional cards. Maybe even discarding Dread Malkin, because we can't cast it anyway, so even if we don't draw the black mana move, we just draw more red cards, play mono red this game. I think it's definitely worth the keep. Got Tybalt, we got Dreadhorde twins that we can definitely cast in the late game, because, you know, off of 3 draw steps and Honor the Godpharaoh, we're definitely going to hit a land of some form at some point. Playing against a black-white deck, starting with Dreadmalkin into Cruel Celebrant, so white-black Aristocrats-style sacrifice deck that can drain life whenever they're sacrificing things while still getting all of the value from sacrificing, like the +1/+1 counters on Dreadmalkin, or the drawing cards off of Spark Reaper, stuff like that. Bleeding Edge on the Goblin Assailant, pretty solid here. Turn 3, still no black source, but we can cast Honor the God Pharaoh or Tybalt here. I think both are solid. I think I'll go Tybalt, because I do have the 4th mana for Dreadhorde Twins, so I don't need to hit any specific draws to do something good next turn. I can just cast my Dreadhorde Twins next turn. And Tybalt's pretty good, because Tybalt is going to allow us to kill one of the 2 toughness creatures, trade up into it here. They might be able to hit Tybalt for 1 here, but unless they spend a removal spell, they can't hit Tybalt for 2, so we know that Tybalt gets to stay and give us another Devil. Bolas's Citadel is the worst draw in our deck right now. We could discard that to an Honor the God Pharaoh if we still don't draw land anytime soon. For now, I think we will get our second Devil token and drop down a Dreadhorde Twins. No attacks here, though. Definitely going to be a board stall kind of game here, and Rising Populace is the kind of card that can take over in this situation. They're going to be sacrificing creatures to draw cards to Spark Reaper to keep fueling their sacrifice effects, drawing more creatures, obviously, and Rising Populace is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger every turn they do that. We have enough life total that Bolas's Citadel will be pretty powerful eventually. The problem is we need triple black to do it, so we need to just hit swamp, 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 and we need to do it quickly. So I'm debating just discarding Bolas's Citadel, but we could also discard Dreadmalkin and just hope for the best. Hope to just draw a double swamp, then another one next turn to get there. I don't think Dreadmalkin's particularly great on this board either, just because it's going to be so big. I'm going to go for it. We're going to try to Bolas's Citadel this game. Might not happen, but we did draw one black source there, so we're good for now. If I want to Heartfire something, it's possible I want to Heartfire something right now rather than wait, just so they can't start sacrificing things. Like if I want to kill the Populace, I should do it now. But I don't know if I want to, because Cruel Celebrant's a huge target, Spark Reaper's a huge target. I think I'll hold off, but Heartfire is definitely a good thing to think about. I don't know what I want to kill, though. Maybe they'll play something that makes one of these particularly more threatening, and it becomes clear what we want to kill here. Oh my god. Yeah, they do really have the amount of creatures. Pretty scared. They've got the number of creatures that eventually all of their sacrifice stuff is going to go off. I think the problem with killing Rising Populace is I need to kill Dreadmalkin and Rising Populace if I want to kill something that's going to become into a massive threat. Or that's going to turn into a massive threat, is what I meant to say. So there's no way I can just kill their biggest threat, because they have 2 of them. Malkin and Populace. I guess Dreadmalkin gets bigger faster. It gets 2 counters for each creature they sacrifice, and it has Menace. So I do kind of want to kill that. I can hold off on killing that for a little bit, though. But I think that's probably our target. Maybe it's Cruel Celebrant, because they are doing a damage to me every time. That makes Bolas's Citadel worse for sure. Another Honor the God Pharaoh. I'm definitely casting it here, looking for double swamp. Hey, one more swamp to go for the Bolas's Citadel. Now we have Obnixious' Cruelty as well. Now that we have both of those, we could kill the Dreadmalkin and the Rising Populace. I think I'd rather wait until they start sacrificing things to kill one of them, because they only have 4 mana up. Now they have 5 mana up, so they can only sacrifice one thing to their abilities. So they can only make Dreadmalkin a 3/3 or Rising Populace a 3/3. They can't make it big enough to survive a Heartfire. If they're just going to go to end step here, we can shoot Rising Populace with a Heartfire, sacrificing a Devil token, and then use that 1 damage to attempt to hit Dreadmalkin, so that they have to respond. Okay, I'm going to try for something really cheeky here, and it's probably not going to work out, but I kind of like killing Cruel Celebrant here anyway, so if I target this and then they respond by sacrificing it to Dreadmalkin, I get to kill Dreadmalkin and Rising Populace with my Heartfire. Or if they respond by doing that. Actually, if they respond by doing anything, now their mana's tapped, so Dreadmalkin doesn't get any bigger, so now we get to kill Populace and Dreadmalkin. But I can also kill Spark Reaper and Dreadmalkin. Either way, I'm killing something here, because now doing the 1 damage with the Devil token is incredible. Maybe we do kill Spark Reaper, actually, keep them from drawing more cards. Yeah, let's kill Spark Reaper. Sacrifice a Devil token, so we kill the Dreadmalkin as well. We've killed all of their sacrifice outlets, but they do still have a big Rising Populace that is an issue. No attacks. Stop them from drawing cards throughout this game, which is good. Ashiok. Alright, well, Ashiok is pretty good this game because we are in a board stall. This is definitely the position you want Ashiok. I don't know why Ashiok is infinitely more loud than everybody else. Now we're losing to Ashiok, so we're cool to just play our stuff off the top because we're not going to lose to damage dealt to us. We're going to lose to Ashiok milling us. I think I do want to hit Ashiok for 2 here. That stops like a lot of mill. Alright, Bolas' Citadel trying to go off to outrace Ashiok here. We're milling 8 more cards. Ooh, they got our Vraska. Pretty brutal. We got a Mayhem Devil coming up, though. That's going to be a good draw. We can finish off Ashiok by sacrificing anything we want. Bolas' Citadel, we could try to do the final 10 damage by sacrificing 10 permanents, so we just need to start cracking in somehow here. And we've got a clock on our opponent. That's for sure. Definitely play that Vizier. Bleeding Edge is really good here too. We're down to 8 life. We go down to 5 life if I cast a Bleeding Edge, but it is solid. Now we have a Death Touch Trample zombie army. That's actually so good. Death Touch Trample's massive here. I'm going to play Mayhem Devil before I do anything so that I get to deal damage to something anytime I sacrifice something. I think I do attack with a Death Touch Trample. If I attack Ashiok with that, no matter how they block, I get to deal 1 damage, because I can do 1 to all of their creatures and 1 to Ashiok. So Ashiok just dies here no matter what. But I probably trade with like a Rising Populace, which isn't great. I think it's probably still worth it. Or just no blocks, alright. Take that too. Rising Populace is a 6/6 now. I'm at 8. I don't think I want to lose the life casting a Bleeding Edge here. I think I'll play an On-Crop Invader, hold the 1 mana up to sacrifice 1 thing. But we definitely have fine blocks for a Rising Populace. We can just block it with a 1/1 Devil and do damage to our opponent. Like, we're very fine with that. Spark Harvest to kill the Mayhem Devil. That's a little sad. Could sacrifice it to do 1 damage to something, but 1 damage to something isn't going to kill anything. We'll just do 1 damage to their face, I guess. I'd rather hold on so I can sacrifice the Devil token. I guess. That way, if they attack with Rising Populace, we can maybe sacrifice something, make a 4/2 and block with a 4/2 and a 2/2. I don't know. Maybe we just don't hold there. Spellgorger weird on top. We go down to 5 if we cast that now. We have 8 cards in library. Gives us another big threat though. I think it's worth it. Play the land. Toll the invasion here as well. It's Bleeding Edge, kill a creature. 7/7 Death Touch Trample now. Obviously it trades with Rising Populace and does 6 to their face. 6 cards. 8/8 makes it not trade with Rising Populace. They have to double block to kill it. Probably worth going down to 2 life and very few cards. We are really playing with fire here. I just have to get my opponent down to 10 and they're dead, so... This is scary. Attack with those, I think. We have 5 mana to sacrifice things with, so I think we're good to attack with an invader. Just chump there, take 8. If I can do 2 more damage to them somehow... I cannot. Actually, I could sacrifice... If I... How many permanents do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... I don't think I have enough permanents to kill them with Bolas's Citadel here, do I? I hit them for 10. If I use Bolas's Citadel right now, I need to sacrifice everything but my zombie army, and then I can kill them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 1 less than enough permanents to kill them with Bolas's Citadel right now, because if I sacrifice everything but the zombie army, Grim Initiate makes it a 9/9. And then the Devil token finishes them off by doing 1 damage to them. So they take 9, go to 1, and then 1 final damage from the Devil token. Just 1 permanent away. That would have been a really cool way to end it, but I guess we're just going to end it in 2 attacks instead. But yeah, this is definitely a Bolas's Citadel's game here. Absolutely absurd, this game. This thing has cast us so much stuff. Obviously, we went down to 2 life for it, but it was worth it. Yeah, we have to kill them this turn, but we can easily do that. We can do 10 to them with the final ability. We have well over enough to just lethal them on board here. Could even play a land off top for fun. I just need to chip in 2 damage and have enough permanents to sacrifice for Bolas's Citadel. Actually, I think I attack with everybody. Whatever gets through. Sacrifice everything that doesn't get through. Yeah, we know that the card in hand is a Plains. Just sacrifice everything that didn't get through here. And that will end this game. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh wait, we have to wait till post-combat, never mind. Yeah, just let it happen. This might even be lethal without it, we'll find out. I don't think so. Oh, it is. Well. I did get to cast a million things off of Bolas's Citadel, but I did not get to actually finish them off with it. But that was still absolutely nuts. We were at 3 wins and no losses. Whatever happens now, we've got an even record and 1,000 gems coming back out of this draft. So not a bad one at all. Although I do want to hit that 4-3 and above. So heading into round 4 here, not a single loss yet, which is kind of surprising to me. Also, a lot of these games have gone to us drawing most of our deck. I think the only game that was pretty standard was the game against Crokies. The other 2 rounds, we almost got milled out. One from Ashiok, plus milling ourselves with Bolas's Citadel, and the other just from the game going so long, and an Ob Nixilis from our opponent. This is very not keepable. We need double black for Bleeding Edge, otherwise we have a single card that we might be able to cast if we draw 1 black source. Yeah, that's really going to have to be a mulligan, unfortunately. This is much more keepable. We have a good, powerful card on turn 3 and 4, and a decent card on turn 2. A good enough card on turn 2, I should say, to try to curve out. I'm going to keep double black in case I draw a Bleeding Edge, anything like that, Vraska. Honor the God Pharaoh is the draw. That is a pretty good draw. That is something we'll want to play later. Don't think I'll be casting it turn 3 this game, though. Augur of Bolas from our opponent. Look at the top 3. Nothing for them yet. With double Dreadhorde Twins, I'm a little tempted to honor the Godpharaoh, discard Tybalt, but that seems pretty bold because Tybalt's a pretty strong card. Not the greatest in this position, but Tybalt's fine. Yeah, probably not worth the discard here. We can wait a moment to hit the mana we need. And we may even naturally draw our 4th land on turn 4. That would obviously be wonderful. We're not under any pressure if we don't, though. Alright, didn't hit it. We do get an on-crop invader, which is very good on this board. We've got several great things to sacrifice, and they have a board that's kind of hard to chip in with creatures with less than 3 power, so on-crop invader does crack in very well against our opponent's board state. Even gives us a sacrifice outlet to sacrifice a devil token. And by sacrificing a devil token, we get to do 1 damage to anything, killing the zombie army. Pretty good position now. Sky Theatrix can finish off Tybalt very easily. Otherwise, just hit us for a couple damage a turn. Not particularly threatening. They're going to bounce our devil token here to just remove it from the board. I think we do declare an attack with on-crop invader. We'll sacrifice things if we have to, but we prefer not to. Prefer to just play a Dreadhorde Twins here. But if our opponent gives us the opportunity to kill some of their creatures, I'll take it. Do get to kill Augur of Bolas here, sacrificing a creature to do so. Yeah, I guess that's not particularly worth it. We can just let that happen for now. Get our Dreadhorde Twins out. Blast Zone from our opponent. We have a 2 mana card, a 3 mana card, and a 4 mana card. So that Blast Zone is currently only going to get a 1-for-1, but even just a 1-for-1 removal spell from one of your lands is quite good. You do have to spend a lot of time setting it up, though. Thunder Drake for our opponent here. Definitely want to draw one of our removal spells to get rid of that. That is a very big threat. 2/3 flyer that is going to get bigger whenever they cast 2 or more spells each turn. I think we honor the Godpharaoh, discarding a swamp here, probably. Could just play another Dreadhorde Twins. That does turn our zombie army into a 4/4, although it leaves us less mana to play around with the on-crop invader. And even a 3/3 zombie army is solid here. 3/3 zombie army gets blocked by their 2/2 and their 1/3, I guess. Yeah, it actually doesn't get blocked super productively for us. What about a 4/4? 4/4 gets blocked by the 2/3 and the 2/2. We're fine with that trade because we get to kill Thunder Drake. I don't know. I think I am going to honor the Godpharaoh here, save up some mana to use on Crop Invader, so I get to attack him with that. 4 power of First Strike. The only block that kills it is if they block Sky Theatrix and Augur of Bolas. I kill something in First Strike and don't die. If they block Thunder Drake, Augur of Bolas, we kill Thunder Drake in First Strike. Yeah, they kind of have to let me kill a Thunder Drake or 2-for-1 them with On Crop Invader. So I think we do attack with that. As far as the 3/3 goes, they could block that with Augur of Bolas and Sky Theatrix, and they only lose one of the two, or the 2/2 and the 1/3. Sorry, that's what I meant. They could block with the 2/2 and the Sky Theatrix, or the 2/2 and the Augur of Bolas on the zombie army. I don't think I want to attack with the zombie army because of the Augur of Bolas block is pretty good there. Though I suppose if they do that block there, that means they can't just throw an Augur on Crop Invader. Yeah, this has Trample as well. I'll take the trade there. I'm going to replace it with another 2/2 zombie army here. See what blocks happen. Ooh, they go for the Sky Theatrix block there. I can kill both of those if I sacrifice the Devil token, so now I get to kill Augur of Bolas and all of their creatures except Thunder Drake by sacrificing the Devil token, so now it's very worth sacrificing the Devil token. I don't think it matters which I do. Doing 2 there, 1 there, right? Should let me choose my damage here. Yeah, 2 there, 1 there. Perfect. So now they just have a Thunder Drake. They only have 1 creature, although it is a pretty good one. So we're not really out of the woods yet. But I think we're in a good position at the very least. No attacks. Gonna hold off that 2/3 to block our 2/2s. I can cast a Bleeding Edge just to hold that off. I could trade my Goblin Assailant up into it. That seems fine. Don't really want to trade a Dreadhorde Twins up to it because I do like its ability. They could have a Pyrohelix here and get me. Make me lose my 2/2 with no abilities and my on-crop Invader. Or Jaya's Greeting as well. Rel's Outburst. Really any of the 1 million red burn spells in this set. They're only casting 1 card this turn, so at least Thunder Drake isn't getting any counters off of this. Now we get to just run out a Spell Gorger Weird, ready for that to get bigger. There was definitely an argument for the Bleeding Edge, so we could just get aggressive and attack with everything, but I prefer getting the Spellgorger Weird out first, so we're getting counters on that while we're casting Bleeding Edge. Seems good to me, although it may be playing a little bit too greedy, a little too slow. Bond of Insight here. That is a nice draw too. Draw their best 2 instants and sorceries from their grave. They're probably drawing Bond of Insight and something else. Ooh, Callous Dismissal. That is very good right now. Get a 1/1 and slow down the Spellgorger Weird. Also the second spell for turn to go with the Thunder Drake. Now's our last chance to draw Heartfire style removal. But Obnix's Cruelty would still get there. Toll of the Invasion to see what they got and mess with it does seem fine here, but we do really need to put pressure of our own out. We need to draw a way to deal with Thunder Drake, but Rel's Outburst is really annoying here, drawing them another card and killing one of our things. The nice 2-for-1. Very powerful spell. I think I'll go for Toll of the Invasion, probably discarding the Rel's Outburst, but we'll see what else they have. Well, we might be losing this game. They've got Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. They're going to try to self-mill. They're already doing Bond of Insight shenanigans. They're down to 18 cards. Jace could absolutely win them the game. They're drawing a card off of it every turn as well. If they get a Saheeli out, all of a sudden they're going to start getting a million 1/1s. Seeing this hand, I honestly feel we don't really have much of a chance. I feel like we still just take Rel's Outburst, though. Just get rid of that 2-for-1 removal spell. Send an attack in. Like, if we just get rid of Jace... The problem is they have, like, redundancy, where if we just get rid of Jace, they just cast Saheeli and Rel's Outburst. Thunder Drake's like a 4/5. That's if they draw land, of course. But that would be absolutely brutal for us. Jace and Saheeli are both just brutal planeswalkers that will absolutely win them the game. So I feel like taking either one of those, it's like they still have more where that came from, you know? Whereas Rel's Outburst, that was like the one on-board removal spell. It's also a 2-for-1. You remove something, draw a card. The only thing that didn't have, like, redundancy. Kill Sky Theater Strix here. Try to kill Saheeli before they get a million 1/1s out of it. But now we're just dying to a Thunder Drake. We have one final chance to draw our Obnix's Cruelty, or Thunder Drake kills us.
That wasn't very inventive.
Just on its lonesome. There's the Jace. They're going to go ahead and draw 2 off of that. Hoping to draw a spell that costs 2 or less. I'm sorry, they mill 2, draw 1. Getting mixed up. Down to 13 cards in library. We've got 3 mana here. No blue for the counter spell that they have, but if they have a 3 mana or less red card... Alright, I guess they don't, because they would have just cast it main phase 1, get a counter on Drake, get more damage in, so at least now we could still draw Obnixlus's Cruelty. Although at this point we've just been slowed down too much to beat these, I think. We do get to kill Saheeli, we just have to attack Saheeli with the zombie army, so we attack Jace with Dreadhorde Twins. I get to play Spellgorger Weird and Dreadmalkin here, get as many creatures on board as possible. We know Saheeli dies that way. They probably chump block with a servo this way. Maybe they don't. They might want to get aggressive with it against us. Yeah, because Jace will very much survive that hit. The mill 2, draw a card, down to 9 cards in library. If we kill Jace, we can just try to mill them out. The problem is we have to kill this Thunder Drake. Or we're dying on board too. We're not just dying to Jace's self-mill ability. Callous Dismissal. Aven Eternal, uh-oh. Now we need 2 removal spells. Not only do we need Obnixlus's Cruelty, we need something to kill Aven Eternal as well. Oh wait, and of course that makes Thunder Drake a 5/6. Yeah, now we have no chance. Yep. Rough game, just gonna lose to some beefy flyers along with a lot of really great draw spells. The 2-for-1 removal spells from like Rel's Outburst and the 2-for-1 draw spell, Bond of Insight, very powerful. And then of course, drawing off of Jace, our opponent was solidly just looping 2 spells a turn very consistently with their Thunder Drake to make it a very, very big threat. That was definitely too big for us. Don't have a single removal spell left in the deck that would kill it at that point. Very powerful deck from our opponent for sure. The Izzet non-creature spell deck. Alright, so 3-1 heading into round 4. Back at it again with the terrible openers. This is worse than the first hand that we had. The first hand actually may have been a keep because we did have double red. We needed to draw 1 more card to cast things, and if we did hit it, we could cast Honor the Godfarer and try to draw into something. This hand I think is just unkeepable. I guess we have Bleeding Edge. We only need a single red for the rest. Mulliganing to 5 is brutal, especially on the play. Definitely just a bad start all around, luck-wise, with these openers. Yeah, I do kind of need a mountain to do much, so I will get rid of a swamp there, even though now we're not even confirmed to be able to Bleeding Edge this game. Did get the red source. Now we get to drop a Spellgorger Weird turn 3, I think will be the play if they don't have anything on board, and they do not, so we'll drop a Spellgorger. They have something instant speed because they're holding here, so we'll see. Tyrant Scorn, destroy a creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. Very nice removal spell. Toll the Invasion here. Might just end us. Get rid of the Bleeding Edge, and they get a 1/1. Honor the Godfarer is a pretty great draw here. I actually like that better than dropping Invader first. Definitely really happy to see the Honor the Godfarer there. I think without that, like if we just drew a land or something, we were in a world of hurt. And now we're doing okay. Kind of want to amass one here so that I can attack in with my thing, or also just block and kill it. And I guess giving my zombie tokens Death Touch is also fun. Although I do want to kill Aven Eternal, and I want to do that sometime soon. I could Heartfire to kill it, lose the 1/1. Really would like to draw another red, then I can Grim Initiate and sacrifice Grim Initiate to Heartfire. That'd be pretty good. We'll just hold off the ground creatures for now. Although I think we are on the defensive because we are taking a clock from the Aven Eternal. Block there, it's a trade even if they amass more. Nothing else. Well, not drawing another red does hurt. Do I want to play Grim Initiate just so I have sacrificial fodder? I think I don't. I think I play On-Crop Invader, and I might have to just Heartfire our Vizier into the Aven Eternal. As not ideal as that is. If I don't draw another red, it might be the play. I'm at 14. I guess I still have time. Ooh, okay, they play a 5-6. Well, now I'm definitely not Heartfiring Vizier into that. Plus, I drew the red, so if I drew the red, the plan was always going to be to just sacrifice Grim Initiate to do it. We'll do it when they're tapped out, so they can't have a counterspell. And now I have a 1/1 Death Toucher to block the Dam Breaker, which seems pretty good. And we've pretty much equalized the board state, and we're in a top deck war. They have 2 cards in hand, though, so I guess not quite. If one of these is a removal spell, if it's like Callous Dismissal, we're in for it still, because they just kill our token and get swinging. And I suppose any removal spell really does do that. Callous Dismissal would just be the most impressive. Just holding on the opponent here. They did look at the grave for a second, so they may have an Aid the Fallen or something. They only have an Aven Eternal and Grave, though. It would probably be worth it here, though. That is a very good card on this board. Soul Diviner is the play. They can remove a counter from something to draw a card, but they don't have any counters on their stuff. And it can only remove counters from their own stuff. If it could remove counters from my stuff, that'd be absolutely busted. Just insane stuff. Spark Reaper's pretty good here. Give us a draw outlet if we have creatures to sacrifice, or if we're responding to their removal spells or anything. Yeah, I like just dumping down the Spark Reaper. I'm definitely not attacking into their board right now. I'd have to sacrifice everything for my Invader to kill their Dam Breaker, and that seems bad. Well, show me what kind of fancy stuff you got here. Do they have anything that would buff the whole field? I don't think they have anything that would buff the whole field in blue-black. Maybe a Wrath effect here. If they're just going to go for the attack anyway, just trying to sneak in damage. No, just a Lazotep Behemoth. Weird one there. Maybe it was a misclick on the all attack. Because I feel like that attack, that was just a net gain for me by a lot. Probably a misclick or something. I don't love losing the Vizier, but I don't know when the next time I'm going to draw an Amass card is, and I know that a 5/4 is good. It's just the biggest creature on board, so I think it's worth the trade up. So our opponent is down to 2 cards in hand, 1 Soul Diviner on board. They do seem to be pretty flooded here, which is definitely working out in our favor. We've drawn like half as many lands as them. Really rough position to be in for our opponent. If they get any Amass cards, this Soul Diviner can really get them out of this, though, drawing a lot of cards. Command the Dreadhorde. Okay, go to 6 and just win. Alright. That is kind of how Command the Dreadhorde works. That definitely explains the attacks and blocks they've been making then. If they're just going for a Command the Dreadhorde to end this. That'll certainly end me. Yeah, not really much I can do about that or say about that. Command the Dreadhorde is a brutal bomb that will absolutely just bomb you out of a game. Just returns the entire graveyard to their field. They take a bunch of damage to do that, but obviously they can go to just a safe life total and bring back a ton of stuff. Yeah, there's just literally nothing I can do here. My only hope is to draw like double Heartfire or something, or somehow get 10 permanents on board for Bolas's Citadel, but that's not going to happen. I only have 4. I'd have a 5th with Citadel out, and I'm already about to go to less than enough life to try to draw cards off of this. This game has just been ended by the bomb rare Command the Dreadhorde. Triple block here, and they only get to kill 2 of these things. They kill On-Crop and Spark Reaper. Trade those there. That's pretty awful. Probably not supposed to block with the Goblin Assailant. It's only stopping 1 damage. But I get Death Touchers out, so I stop all the ground damage, but I am taking 2 a turn in the sky every turn. They get to hit Vraska as well.
Go ahead. Beg for mercy. If you need my services, it may cost you more than just money.
Probably should have left Goblin Assailant and just taken 1 there. Irregardless, as I said before, we just absolutely lost when Command the Dreadhorde resolved, because not only do they get the whole field back, but now they have combos to draw cards. Obviously, Spark Reaper can just keep drawing off of these 1/1s that can't get in anyway. They're drawing cards every turn off of Soul Diviner as well. Command the Dreadhorde just immediately drew them like 7 cards back onto the board, and now has drawn them like 4 more cards by Soul Diviner triggers, Spark Reaper triggers, all of that. Just going for Vraska here, alright. I mean, it resolves. Vraska's gonna die then. Since I can't block the flyer anyway, I can't block in a way where I can get another Death Toucher, so I don't know what the ground Death Toucher's doing here. I guess just making sure I can't Heartfire sacrificing Vraska or something. Vampire Opportunist, they have enough mana to start using that, draining me for life, so they'll go to much more than 6, so they're not even within range of Heartfire or anything. Mayhem Devil's cool, but Mayhem Devil doesn't quite put them in death range because they did draw into Vampire Opportunist. I suppose if I sacrifice my 1/1 to On-Crop Invader right now, I can shoot the Opportunist so they can't gain any life. Then if I top deck Heartfire, I can sacrifice Mayhem Devil to On-Crop Invader and On-Crop Invader to Heartfire. 2 damage to them with Mayhem Devil's trigger and 4 with Heartfire. And that's my 1 out to this game. But if they use Opportunist ability once, then that is not an out. Which means I think I sacrifice the Assassin right now. I also have to be able to survive an attack. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can block with a 3/3. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. It's the only out. Just shoot the Opportunist. And then top deck Heartfire. Watch. Just leave us open to the only way we could possibly get lucky here. Obviously, if they have any removal spells, we're dead as well. There's a million ways that this probably won't pan out. Giving their Field Menace also makes it not pan out, I think. I think that means we just die when they all attack, because I have to double block something, which means I'll lose my On-Crop Invader on the double block. But if they don't all attack here, then we don't die. It's 9 damage. 5 damage. Yeah, I'll take it, and I'll top deck a Heartfire. Watch. Unless I already used it. Oh my god, I already used it. I don't even have Heartfire left in this deck. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying. Trying to draw into a swamp is what I'm trying. Let's see. This is very unlikely to pan out, but who knows? Their whole field has menace out, so or menace now, so it just will not. Pyrohelix. I go to 1 life to put them to 4. I only have 5 permanents on board. I need to somehow get 5 more out. If they minus Angrath, I could get rid of their menace out of nowhere, but that doesn't even change things. Yep, I might as well just send a message and shoot their face. There's no out here. Oh no. Another Pyrohelix too. Well, obviously got no way to survive this turn. So yeah, what I was saying about getting rid of the menace is if they minus Angrath again, I could get rid of the menace on their creatures by shooting Angrath for 1 and then their face for 1, but then I still just die to the flyer because I have to pay 2 life to cast the Pyrohelix. Well, at least we got to play our big scary bomb, but we just got it too late at that point. I love that I was playing to an out that I didn't even have in my deck anyway. Just really going for it. No, we had absolutely nothing to come back from that command. Well, this hand is panning out quite nice. The turn 1 Dread Malkin to get out swinging the Goblin Assailant. Turn 2 as a nice little 2-2. And then a Vizier coming out after that. Just going wide pretty quickly. Callous Dismissal on our 2-2 will slow us down, but we do still get to get in with our Menace creature. And then I will be casting Vizier of the Scorpion, spreading out our creatures so we have more to sacrifice to the Dread Malkin, and then we'll probably play Vraska out after this, because Vraska is a great copy, or a great combo with Vizier of the Scorpion. Now whenever our 1/1 Death Toucher damages them, it turns into a 2/2. So they probably even just trade here, or maybe even trade here. If they don't, obviously it's a 2/2 now, instead of a 1/1.
When it comes to murder.
Yep, so that's pretty solid.
Fun than in the Undercity.
They're at 4 mana, they're on a blue-black deck. They've got the MTG Boomer lands, so it's really hard to tell what colors they are from a glance. These lands are, like, really beautiful. I do like old Borderlands. I just think on Arena, for convenience sake, they're not the greatest. Well, Vraska goes down to 1, but we can keep her on board to keep using her ability by Pyrohelixing their flyer. That seems definitely worth it. We can even honor the Godpharaoh, discarding a Goblin Assailant here. To draw. Maybe we'll trade 3/3s at this point. I do want to attack both of these in, but the problem if I do that is that I then have to block if I want to keep Vraska around. I have to chump block their 3/3. Guess I could play Goblin Assailant in Pyrohelix. Alright, we will just take the trade there.
How you lived is how you'll die.
Well, now I think I do want to honor the Godpharaoh. Because now I get another Death Toucher that'll get bigger with Vraska's ability. Kind of want to Pyrohelix before they have mana up, but they're not going to have a counterspell for an instant. And in blue-black, they're not going to have a pump spell either, so they shouldn't have anything that can stop this. The only counterspell I can think of that sees play in this limited format counters a creature or planeswalker. So I'll hold it off just in case they play like another Shriek Diver and give it haste or something. So I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone instead of just the 1. They do play a Lazatep Reaver that will be trading with our little Death Touchers. Probably. Dugan's Conjurant as well, and we've drawn into a Heartfire. Damage would be dealt to it. Prevent that damage, remove that many counters. This does work well against our Death Touchers. I kind of want to just Cruelty that then. And I get to attack him with the 2/2. Could Heartfire to save it. Because I do want to try to get the ball running, get it bigger. But I'd have to sacrifice Vraska or my Vizier, and those are both very important. I guess I attack with the 2/2, sacrifice the zombie army. If they go for the double block. Trade into the Reaver, turn that into a 3/3. Now I don't have to Heartfire anything. Sure.
If you see an assassin coming for you, that's a bad assassin.
Oh, I guess they get to attack Vraska now, though. But I don't need the Vizier now that I don't have a zombie army, so just trade. But it is good so that if I ever drew a zombie army in the future, I would have it ready to go. Spark Harvest on that? Alright, well. 2 cards in hand to 2 cards in hand. 1 card in hand to 1 card in hand. Good to see that they also had the 6th land like I do. The top deck war has begun, and so far I'm losing, drawing another land. We have turned this game of Magic into a game of craps. Or blackjack, or any of that. Now, drawing an Honor the God Pharaoh is very solid. Now I feel I'm probably winning the top deck war thus far. Yep. That was a pretty fast way to win the top deck war. I'm guessing that they just probably hit some lands or just held on to them there. We won the coin flip that time. That will head us into 4 and 3, getting all of our gems back out of this. Very solid. Definitely a record I like to go. I am happy where I'm at. We're at 2 losses now, right? Wasn't paying enough attention, really. So I think that we're out with 1 more loss, so we gotta fight hard now if we want to make it up to those 7 wins. Grab a drink here. We'll see how things go. But as always, I will try my best. As always, for these little gaps in the videos, there will be timestamps in the description below to the start of every round for when Arena's taken a little bit of time on matchmaking. Definitely need to hit a land. If I hit 1 land and it's any land, I get to cast everything in the hand, which seems pretty solid. We did hit a land, so we're going to start out with our 2/2 on turn 2, our Goblin Assailant. Playing against a green player thus far, 2 forests out, and a Crunch Wrangler. Chandra's Pyrohelix will be pretty good against that, as will Tybalt. I think I do want to get aggressive, so I'll just offer the trade, see what happens. Alright, well that's unfortunate. I would prefer that they didn't take the trade, and my thoughts whenever somebody plays a Crunch Wrangler is that they probably have a ton of power 4 or greater creatures, so they're not often likely to want to just trade it into a 2/2 or something. However, I guess with the way that my opponent's hand panned out, they didn't have a lot to go crazy with that so they just didn't want to take the trade. I could double block the bully with 2 Devils. Yeah, it's probably good to stay open to being able to do that.
The more, the messier.
Otherwise, I'm doing 1 damage to them. Like, who knows? Maybe they play a creature and then attack with Bully, and then we just double block Bully and shoot it.
Let's see if you're worthy.
Or a Planeswalker here. We shoot Vivian for 2, put her down to 3. Kill the Bully, put Vivian to 3. I don't really care about Tibble, but I do like this trade. Because we want to kill Vivian before she draws any cards with her -2. Keep them off that value. And now I can do that by just playing a non-creature spell this turn. Unfortunately, I don't have a great one to play, because I would rather hold these as removal spells. But I kind of have to make Spellgorger Weird a 3/3 to kill Vivian here. So I guess I might as well do 2 damage to their face, or I could do 4 with Heartfire. I think I'd rather hold on to Heartfire for something potentially bigger. But we're 100% getting rid of Vivian there.
Just like before.
I guess we could have gotten rid of Vivian without losing the devil tokens, which would have been better. Because then we Pyrohelix the 2/2 before they can block with it. Yeah, that actually would have been better. That was definitely going for a Trixie line that was just all around worse in the long run. Primordial Worm, big old 7/6 now. Well, I don't think I want to honor the God Pharaoh. Just keep adding to this board. I really don't have anything that I want to discard. I like everything I have so far. Band together. That's really rude. Alright, get rid of Spark Reaper here. Might as well get some extra power out of this. I can trade up into the Crocodile at least. I'm willing to discard this land to the honor now. Make Spellgorger a 4/4. Get a zombie army and pass the turn again. Vraska. Spit out some 1/1s. Luckily, 1 Pyrohelix pretty much just counters Vraska. We can just do 1 damage to both of their 1/1s. But we also just have enough 1/1s on our board to deal with them that way as well. Ooh, if they're going to use them to Spark Harvest, then that is bad. I may as well, yet again, get some extra power. So I can trade up into Crocodile if that's coming in. It is not. 4 mana here, so I can't afford to play Dreadhorde Twins if I want to hold up one of my burn spells, but I don't think I really need to. I can just play Dreadhorde Twins, hold up my sacrifice ability on Crop Invader.
I'm good at killing, but I don't always enjoy it.
They doing another Spark Harvest here. They only have 1 black mana, so they do need to sacrifice things to cast Spark Harvests right now. Otherwise, it does cost double black and 3 more. So they have enough mana to cast it, they just don't have enough black mana to cast it. Just go to my turn, sure. Another land. I probably don't need to sacrifice 2 things to Invader and cast 2 burn spells, so I don't think I need to play this land. We do have another Honor of the God Pharaoh in our deck. We just have the 1 right now in grave. So I think I'll hold on to this in case I do draw that Honor. Don't really think we have attacks in against their board, so we are just passing. On-Crop Invader will be a good attacker, but if it does attack in, then I don't have super great blocks either.
Don't be surprised if we meet again.
Now that I've gotten rid of those, maybe I do just start attacking with Invader next turn. A Heartfire makes my blocks good enough, even without Invader. Because what I block... No, I think my best block is having Invader held back, because then I block Invader onto Crocodile, sacrificing Grim Initiate, which turns that into a 4-4, then I block a 4-4 and a 2-2 on Primordial Worm. Maybe, let's see, 3 there, need 6 there. Actually not sure. There might be a different way that works better. So I was going to say, I could also just block that with 6 not sacrificing Initiate, but then I don't have 3 blocking there. That's the problem. Yeah, I have 8 total. I need 9 total, so I think I need to sacrifice something to Invader, so I think it is sacrifice Initiate, so Invader can block there and then block there. Unsure. Well, Lost Citadel. Wow, that is going to be really good this game. We're still at 20. We just need 1 more swamp. Hoping we can get there. So now we are just on the defensive, just waiting to hit a swamp and then take over the game with that card. So I think we are on the hold the Invader back plan. That being said, 4, 5, 6. They're 1 mana away from using Opportunist's ability every turn, and that is going to be very threatening. Do wish we had a random Devil token still laying around, but we don't. Probably not worth Heartfiring the Opportunist, although it is the only thing we can kill with a Heartfire. Obviously, the Primordial Worm is too big, and the Ward Scale Crocodile is hexproof. Heartfire we can use in conjunction with 2 extra power from something to kill something. Ooh, where is this +1 going? Please not the hexproof. Oh god, it's going on the hexproof. That's going to be a big problem with Karn's Bastion proliferating onto that every turn. So yeah, we might be Heartfiring the Opportunist. I mean, it is nice holding back the Heartfire to be able to trade up into the Worm, but I also like just not losing life to this ability, especially now that they got New Horizons, so that is going to be a good mana sink. So what's our best block if we're not Heartfiring? We need to do 6 to Primordial Worm. It's probably just Invader and Dreadhorde Twins, because we can do 6 there by sacrificing Grim Initiate, and then we have a 4-4 that can block Ward Scale Crocodile, although again they can proliferate onto Ward Scale Crocodile. That would make it 5 toughness, and the 4-4 doesn't block there. If I use Heartfire, the best block is just a Dreadhorde Twins and sacrifice, probably again, Grim Initiate. I could sacrifice Tybalt, actually, to the Heartfire and just not lose a creature. But I can't sacrifice Tybalt to the Invader's ability. I guess if they're going to be using all their mana proliferating onto the Crocodile, so they're not going to use Opportunist's ability, so I probably don't need to Heartfire Opportunist, so I will Heartfire the Worm. I think. Maybe there's a way to play around some kind of pump spell here. Obnixilus's Cruelty. Alright, I don't think there's a way to play around that. If we went for the triple block, this would have been even worse for us. Yeah, that's not great. We could sacrifice that to the Invader, but there's no point there. I guess it does make it go to the grave instead of exiled for Aid the Fallen. We don't actually have an Aid the Fallen in this deck, though. Alright, so it does not matter in this deck. Getting mixed up with previous decks. Alright, Swamp. Oh. We need that Swamp, and we need it yesterday at this point. Halfway through our deck. 1/4 of the way through our Swamps. Just the 7/6 again, weird. Make that 4 by sacrificing Grim Initiate. Could also just triple block. Have a 1/1 and a Dreadmalkin left over. It's not great. Would like to still have a zombie army somehow. I guess I can sacrifice the Dreadmalkin. That seems bad. But I guess we just don't have enough stuff to sacrifice to it anyway. I just sacrifice 2 things and then I trade up the Invader into that, so I sacrifice Initiate Dreadmalkin. I don't love this. I think it's where we're at, though. Are they gonna Opportunist me? Or they're gonna Spark Harvest? Oh, there's Citadel. Alright, let's go. We need to spin the wheel now. Bleeding Edge. Get rid of the Opportunist? That's a pretty great first draw. Oh no, Obnixlus's Cruelty. What is going on, by the way? Why is it doing this? I don't wanna... What the heck? What is going on? Arena, stop, please. Oh my god. No, stop. I don't want to do that. Arena. I think I might want to chump block, though, so that I get more use out of the Citadel. This is really weird. I'm getting a Bolas to Citadel glitch. Here, stop. Well, this is exciting, whatever happens. Okay, is it done? Okay, I think it's done being weird. Not enough power to stop the crocodile, so we're gonna have to chump block again. Oh, Mayhem Devil does make it so if we get 10 permanents, somehow we do immediately lethal them, which is cool. I am very glad that this crocodile doesn't have trample, that's for sure. So we can try to crack back with our Mayhem Devil if they don't draw another creature here. Try to start lowering their life total. I think we can crack back through a Snare Spinner. Obviously we can Obnixlus's Cruelty, so we might as well. Because we're not going to be able to kill their Hexproof creature. Come on. Yeah, there we go. On-Crop Invader. That's a chump blocker right there. Honor the God Pharaoh is a thing to sacrifice. Draw 2. Vampire, oh my god, Vampire Opportunist to gain life, start draining them that way? No, Vraska, we gotta play Vraska. We can play that from our hand though, because we drew it. So we don't have to pay life for that. I think we got there because of Vraska. But Vampire Opportunist is huge as well, gaining us life. We're down to 7 cards in library. I should probably start paying attention to that. We need to start hitting our opponent now. But we have a million blockers. We have Death Touch. We have the mana to sacrifice things to use Mayhem Devil triggers. That was such a beautiful turn for Citadel. Really bring us back in this. 6 cards in library? I mean, now that I have Opportunist just draining our opponent.
Oppressors deserve whatever I feel suits them.
I think we just wait till we have 10 permanents and just kill our opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just need 2 more permanents. Do I have 2 more non-land permanents in the deck? I have Goblin Assailant, Vizier of Scorpion, Dreadhorde Twins. Oh yeah, I do. So I think I just attack with a Death Toucher to chip in for a little. And start using Opportunist's ability as well. Be at a little bit of a safer life total.
How you lived is how you'll die.
Mayhem Devil plus Citadel is going to be definitely lethal. Arlen, sure. Get a bunch of wolves.
Let the nightly hunt commence. Please protect my pack.
Even without the combo, I think Opportunist plus Citadel is lethal. Just need to hit that 10 permanents. They're down to 12 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, go for it. 9. I need 1 more permanent. But I'm at 1 life, so I can't cast this Vizier, obviously. Alright, I just need to survive 1 more turn, so let's chill.
Brave now, pup.
Spark Reaper gains them life, but that is not going to get them out of this. Obviously, Mayhem Devil also just negates the life gain, doing a damage every time they do that. Proliferate again. Use our Opportunist. Go to my turn. We will play the 10th permanent. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mayhem Devil's having a field day. Mayhem Devil's so excited about that. Actually, Mayhem Devil cutting in line, so rude. Bolas's Citadel was going to get the win, but Mayhem Devil's like, nope, it's my win. So 5 wins and 2 losses. We're in the gravy train here. Very, very solid Rakdos Sacrifice deck, having multiple Planeswalkers as well to play around with, obviously pretty powerful. Vraska and Tybalt both putting in work in similar ways, both making their own pretty valuable tokens. The Devil token's just nice at shooting things, and the Death Touch token's very nice against Hexproofers, as we saw that game. Vraska was the draw of the game. I suppose Bolas's Citadel was the card of the game, but Vraska was definitely the top deck of the game. Do need red mana, but we have Toll the Invasion for sure. We likely have Vraska turn 4. I think I'll keep it. Hope for the best again. Fingers perpetually crossed. Here we go. Well, there you go. Draw the red source on turn 2 so we can get off the ground running. 2-drop on turn true. Very nice draw. Now we just get to curve out. We are against red as well, though. 2 mountains is all we see thus far. And a Chandra's Pyrohelix shooting our 2/2 for 2. Hopefully that means they don't have the removal for the Spellgorger weird now, but red does have a lot of great removal at common in the set, so I would not be surprised to see a Jaya's Greeting or even a Heartfire or something to kill Spellgorger Weird at some point. For now, just an Honor the God Pharaoh, so Spellgorger Weird lives to see another day. I do have the mana to be able to cast a Vraska, but I don't really want to do that because I really want to attack with Spellgorger Weird right now. And if I attack with Spellgorger Weird and I play Vraska, I'm just going to have a 1-1 blocker, and I don't want to trade my 1-1 Death Toucher for their 1-1 zombie army, and I don't want Vraska to take damage either. So it's between Toll of the Invasion and Honor the God Pharaoh. I think I want to see what's going on in their hands, see if they're monocolored, stuff like that, rather than set up my draws, because I do have a Vraska for the future here pretty soon. They are red-black. They are stuck off of the black mana. I guess I'll just get rid of an On-Crop Invader. It's a pretty solid card, and it's the only card they can actually cast right now. Definitely not getting rid of Sorin's Thirst or a Tidebearer Giant, because they're very far off from both of those. Maybe we're supposed to get rid of Vizier, though. They only need a single Swamp to cast that, and that is a solid card, a 1-1, and making their Amass cards Death Touch. I think I'm getting rid of On-Crop Invader, though. Now I will send in the 3-3. Don't think the On-Crop Invader is like that much worse than the Vizier, though. They did just hit another mountain, so they have Goblin Assault team now, so Spellgorger Weird doesn't really get in anymore. I think I'll go ahead and honor the God Pharaoh then, discarding this Swamp. I don't have fantastic defenses for Vraska because I don't want to block with Spellgorger Weird. Don't need a 5th mana out, I could hold that for a 2nd honor. It's probably good to get aggressive here, so I'll send in the 2-2 because it trades with either of their... Well, it trades with Goblin Assault team, and the 1-1 can only chump block it, so they're not going to want to trade with the Goblin Assault team. Draw a Vampire Opportunist. Well, now I can 3-drop and 2-drop here, and that is probably for the best. I suppose playing Vraska makes Spellgorger Weird big enough that it trades for both their creatures. Does seem good. I think I'd rather get my board wide here, though. First. Vraska next turn. Another mountain. Jeez, this is really rough for our opponent. Very unlucky draws. I'm just going to attack all here because now my field's pretty wide and they're down to 13. We gotta push our pressure here. They have to double block Spellgorger Weird here, probably take 6. They really don't have great options. They might even want to kill 2 things here, block our 2-1 with a 1-1. And block one of our 2-2s with the 4-1. That would have their entire field in the grave, though, and even if they draw a Swamp next turn, they can only play 1 card, so they just play 1 creature. So this is very unlikely to pan out for our opponent, unfortunately. They have been stuck on black just all game. Even if they hit it right now, they play a Tidebearer Giant, then I just go wide for lethal. They block Invader, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opportunist finishes them off really quickly. They're also at 2 life. There's the Swamp. Yeah, I just need to draw 1 mana, and then they're dead on board. If I don't, then they do survive 1 more turn. Heartfire also makes them dead on board. That's just ruthless. Block Invader, let all the damage through. Heartfire with the Vraska.
See an assassin coming for you. That's a bad assassin.
Well, pretty unfortunate game. Opponent did keep a mildly risky keep, but it panned out so horribly for them. Like, statistically, it should not be that bad. Definitely a bad time. But that does push us up into 6 wins, so we're at the final boss now, win or loss. This will be our 7th win or our 3rd and final loss. Should be an exciting end to this draft either way. Unless I just get somebody just gets screwed or flooded again. That does definitely happen. We'll see. We'll see how things pan out for our final round. Well, we have a Bolas' Citadel exactly 10 years in the future from now. For now, we have Grim Initiate. If we draw any land, Spellgorger, Bleeding Edge, and Tybalt are all very powerful cards, so I think I keep this. I'm also on the draw, so I have 3 turns to draw a land to play my 3 drops, and if I can get to where I can cast them, they are all very good. Could trade Grim Initiates here, that could be cute. Yeah, that's fun. Look at that stack. Alright. No 2-drop. We are waiting till turn 3 here. We do need another black for the Bleeding Edge. So I suppose we are only playing around with Spellgorger and Tybalt for now. Do we want to trade again? I mean, sure. Just fully traded our Grim Initiates. It seems fine by me. And a Spellgorger weird for them? What about a Spellgorger weird for me, huh? Would have absolutely loved to draw a swamp there. Bleeding Edge. This would have been the best Bleeding Edge of my life if we hit a swamp, but I guess not really. I think I've Bleeding Edged a Krenko before. That was beautiful. But it would still be really good to Bleeding Edge a Spellgorger weird when they're tapped out. Now that they aren't tapped out, there's no way that we are blocking their Spellgorger weird if they attack in. Obviously, if they just Pyrohelix pre-combat, then it's fine. Would have been slightly better if they just attacked first. Yeah, especially with all of those tricks. Because then they give me the option of misplaying very poorly and blocking. Obviously, I wasn't going to block. But just leaving your opponent open to potentially misplaying is usually good. Here comes a Thunder Drake. Unfortunately, we did have to blow our removal on the ground creature, so the flyer is going to be able to do whatever it wants here. I think we drop down an on-crop invader. That's the only creature we have that can attack in against the 2/3, so we can start trying to race a bit here. Hoping that they don't just immediately have 2 spells to play and just make Thunder Drake bigger. Tamiyo's Epiphany will definitely help them hit another spell, scrying all 4 to the top. Uh-oh. I'm in danger. That's 2 mana now. Callous Dismissal would be brutal. Jaya's Greeting, even worse. Just permanently killing our creature and turning the Thunder Drake into a 3/4. These blue-red spells decks are just bonkers in this format, really. The Thunder Drake really as well. Yeah, these decks just absolutely shred when drafted well.
My assistants are painfully sloppy.
Well, maybe Tybalt at least is a miniature fog for us. Draws 3 damage from Thunder Drake. We unfortunately do not have the Spark Harvests in our deck to compete with Thunder Drakes. That is one of our biggest flaws. We have Omnixlus's Cruelty, and that is it.
First.
We've already cast it. Now we need to draw Heartfire, and we need to draw it fast, because if they cast 2 spells this turn, that's going to be 5 toughness, and we no longer have anything that can kill that. Well, Bolas' Citadel. Probably our best chance here. Try to just have Heartfire on top. We did not have Heartfire on top. Of course, we are going to go down in life really quickly, especially if we start using the Citadel. But it is just a race to the Heartfire, so Citadel's probably worth it. That being said, if our opponent double spells right now, I think there's just no chance. This is a crazy game, though. It's the Thunder Drake versus Bolas' Citadel race. If they had double spells, I think they do it pre-combat there. Oh, nice. So we have Chandra's Pyrohelix plus Bleeding Edge. Actually get rid of the flyer here. Unless they have a counter spell. 2 mana up and they're holding. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Oh my god. Change the target of a spell or ability with a single target, so just -2/-2 my Opportunist instead? Well, that is not nice at all. What the heck, dude? I'm getting bolt bended so hard. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna go take a shower after this draft. It's over, but, you know. I guess, do I have more than one Pyrohelix in this deck? I do. I have 2 Pyrohelixes, so I'm gonna Pyrohelix on Thunderdrake just in case I draw the second one off the top. Go to 2 life. I can't cast anything else now anyway. Yeah, now we just died to the flyer, but we would have died to the flyer anyway if I didn't just immediately draw into the next burn spell, so that's just game. Bolt Bend. Big Bolt Bend energy. That was rough. But we still had a pretty great draft overall. 6-3. Pretty dramatic final game as well. Bolas's Citadel versus a Thunderdrake, ending with a Bolt Bend for absolute destruction. 1,800 gems is our award, and 5 packs. Pretty solid stuff. I already basically have the whole set, so the pack opening won't be too exciting. Just a bunch of gems, or some random cards that I don't own yet. Nothing that awesome. Just like my 3rd and 4th copies of some stuff. But anyways, that is going to be the end of today's draft. If you enjoyed the video, stick around, same place. I do basically daily Magic Arena videos, and we've got some exciting stuff in the works coming up. Of course, we have the core sets premiere drafts coming on Saturday. That is going to be a really cool format, a completely unique new format where they're, well, not completely unique, but a format that's never been drafted before, in which you get to draft 1 pack of 3 different core sets. So it's not just M21 draft. It's going to be core set 2021 pack, a core set 2020 pack, and a 2019 pack. I'm about to cough. Uh-oh. Let me end this video real fast before I just cough all over the mic. Once again, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.